guys, it is week 9 of Super Rugby Aotearoa. It's the second last week, unfortunately, of probably one of the best tournaments of rugby we'll ever see. This video is a bit later. I am a bit sick, so sorry about that. My brain isn't working as it should. The Hurricanes versus the Chiefs in this one I'm covering. The Chiefs are playing their last game of the season, so they'll desperately want to get that jar of pickles open. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I talked about that last week. The Chiefs, you can see they have those 5 losing bonus points, and they've been close more often than not. With some questionable refereeing calls, things could have been much different this season. But the Hurricanes, they've also had quite a few calls go against them as well. They would want to make it 5 wins in a row so far. Streaks do come to an end somewhere usually. Is 5 maybe 1 too far? The Chiefs fans would hope so. The Hurricanes fans, they will want to build on what they've built so far. If we go down in history, things do favour the Hurricanes. They are in Wellington with a normal day for Wellington, very windy. The Chiefs will want to handle that because the local boys know how to handle that any day of the week. So there might be a bit of a different approach for the Chiefs. Gatland has made a lot of changes to his side. And there's some calls for him to lose his job or lose his head, if you will, because they need to win, and they just haven't. They need to win this game by all costs. Up front for the Chiefs, Norris comes in at prop after another injury for their side. He is joined by Takiao in the number 2 jersey. He gets a start after some impressive performances off the bench, and they are joined by Laulala in number 3, who's been impressive so far in this Aotearoa season. The Hurricanes strengthen up their front row with May coming in and Coles as well, their co-captain. Coles, he's been struggling a little bit in line-out time, so the throws might be something important for him to work on. I think I would prefer Almoa at this stage, but Coles, he has a bit of that X factor to the side. The second row that he is throwing to is okay. They haven't been dream team material, but they've been okay. While the Chiefs, they bring in Akoi, who came off the bench last week, and every time he does join the second row for their team, their lineouts just do perform better. He's joined by Brown, who's also been quite okay in lineouts time as well. So Akoi is the man to watch in this game. Boschia isn't playing though, and he is a lineout threat. They do use him a lot, so that's a bit of something they will lose there, and he's dangerous at the breakdowns as well. They do have the All Black Jacobson coming into the side after his injury. He's joined by Kane and Soakula, who they've been impressive these last couple of weeks. I think the 1 week I said those two have been quiet for a couple of weeks. The next week they were excellent. So they've been playing well a couple of weeks now. Kane big hits a lot of tackles each week, and so Akula, he racks up the meters by just having the ball all the time. Karifi and Savia, they would want to say something about that because they are in good form so far as well. They are a formidable challenge to those Chiefs loose forwards. TJ Perenara versus Weber will be a big one as well. So far this season, things are in the way of TJ. He has been dominant to most of his opposition so far. Weber, he was in good form last week. He still has that spark, but most of the season he's been quite quiet. The backline, Trask is probably the biggest change for the Chiefs. He comes in for Cruden, who played his 100th and last game for the Chiefs last week. Well, except if he makes a comeback again in a few years' time. And Trask has actually shown some promise in recent weeks. He's up against Gordon Bishop, who's probably more of an equal opponent for him to measure himself up against. I would like to see how things go between these two number 10s. The midfield is a big blow for the Hurricanes, with the influential Laumape being injured. The regular outside centre has shifted to number 12, Vince Aso. Things could be a little bit more disrupted, I think, in the midfield. I don't know. It could go well as well. How Umaga Jensen goes up against Anton Leonard-Brown will be a true measure of his talents and his capabilities. He's young and he is stepping up to the Hurricanes' plate. They are picking him to maybe go for higher honours soon. So it will be good to see how he goes up against Anton Leonard-Brown, who, well, even though Umaga Jensen is a very big attacking threat, he's made that clear in recent weeks. Anton Leonard-Brown, he just shuts down any 13 in front of him, world-class 13s as well. Cobus van Wyk makes a return to the side after Ben Lam played his last game 2 weeks ago for the Hurricanes, so he makes a return to the side, and he's not going to be there long for a long time anymore. He might be in a reckoning for Springbok selection, maybe this year, I think, because I mean, this guy's been playing for quite a while. He's in form, while the guys over in South Africa might be a bit out of form. So Cobus van Wyk might reckon he could push for Springbok call-up as well. So we might see him continuing his great form. Jordie Barrett versus Damian McKenzie is going to be a contest as always. The two young guns, the two all-black number 15s, are just brilliant in joining the line. Jordie Barrett, he's been consistent with his boot as well for the Hurricanes. So since he's come back into the side, they haven't lost one game. So he's quite an important guy in their side. Aotearoa does find himself on the bench. Like I said, I would have probably picked him. Booth will look to bring what he's brought to the side every time coming off the bench for the Hurricanes. And Proctor is going to try and prove he's still in the fight for that number 13 jersey. Slater finds himself on the bench for the Chiefs after being quite good so far. A guy called Rob Cobb and Kini Naholo makes their debut. Milo Harris finds himself on the bench as well. I think he cost the Chiefs a victory maybe last week, or a very good chance of a victory last week. Not directly maybe, but he just lacks intensity and that never say die attitude of Weber when he came off the bench. And I mean, getting pushed off the ruck twice in very good attacking position, that's a rookie mistake. So that cost them. He probably learned from it. Hopefully, let's see how he goes this weekend. My prediction, the Chiefs team desperately needs a win, and I say it each week that they could surprise, and they really can. I mean, they've been close so many times. The Hurricanes, though, they still stand a chance to get the second place in this season. They can't win it anymore. But I think they would still want to prove themselves and prove they are second place or worthy of getting a second place. So I'd say the Hurricanes by 3. Guys, let me know your prediction down in the comments below. Check out any of these other videos popping up here next to me. I'll see you for the next one, and then enjoy the rugby this weekend. Cheers.